Yo, what's up YouTube? It's the Frenzy, and today I have a video where I'm going to be going over 3 overpowered perks in Black Ops 4 Zombies. Now, in previous videos, you guys might have heard me say that stamin-up is a must-have perk, and that it's very strong. While that is indeed true, I'm not going to label it as overpowered in this video because it truly isn't. It's just doing its job and, well, it's doing it well, I guess. However, having said that, let's actually get into the actual perks. And by the way, I think you guys will actually be really surprised by the last perk mentioned. So, alright, without further ado, let's get into perk number 1. And the first perk that I'm going to mention is Dying Wish. In my opinion, I feel like Dying Wish is a super low-key, overpowered perk. And the reason for this is because when you guys go down, you actually don't lose a revive. And this is very crucial, especially in solo. So instead, what happens is you go into a thing called Berserk mode, and you can survive for 9 seconds and be invulnerable while you're in this mode. After the effect fades away, you then have to wait for it to come back on a 9-minute cooldown the first time that you use it. The second time, it's on an 11-minute cooldown, then 14 minutes, followed by 18 minutes, and so on. I didn't really test it much after the 18 minutes because, well, it was just going to start becoming very time-consuming to do so. However, it does seem like that it is on an exponential increase after the second time that you use it, so I guess that's good there. So I personally think that there should be 3 changes to this perk, and starting with change number 1, I feel like they should nerf normal Dying Wish so that the cooldown is slightly longer, and then, leave everything else the same. And then the second change isn't really a change, it's just leaving the cooldown the same, exactly what it is currently on the modifier version. And then the third change is that the perk should give the player in plain sight, in my opinion. So without just giving out random suggestions, I'm going to go ahead and explain my logic and my reasoning for each change that I feel like should happen. So for change number 1, I believe that normal Dying Wish is just too strong. With the modifier version, it's just too weak. So there needs to be a little bit of balance. I feel like there should be a strong reason for actually needing to use Dying Wish in your modifier slot. Just gaining 200 HP immediately after the effect ends just isn't good enough, because most of the time when the effect ends in the first place, you're going to be well out of the zombies' sight and, just the reach of the zombies, to the point where your health is going to recharge comfortably, especially if you have the quick revive perk as well. And seeing how the player is forced to wait longer, it'll really give you that option of, hey, maybe I should have it in my modifier slot. And currently the regular Dying Wish is just too strong, and there's really no reason for you to have it there in the first place, considering, again, 200 HP after it ends is not really that big of a deal. And the cooldown time being increased will actually make it a difficult choice now for you to decide, hey, maybe I should have it in my modifier slot, or, maybe like I'm not going to be using Dying Wishes enough to the point where, you'll really benefit from it. So it'll really definitely be a choice that you're going to have to make before you even start your game. As for reason number 2, this is pretty quick. I just believe that the normal cooldown should be moved due to my reasoning with the first nerf that I just, got done explaining. And lastly, for number 3, I know that this sounds a little hypocritical to suggest a buff for a perk that's sort of overpowered in the first place. However, I feel like the perk is sort of lame in a way that if you're trapped and you have to use your Dying Wish, you often find yourself going down immediately after due to being completely swarmed by zombies and trapped in a corner. And this could all just be negated by granting the player in plain sight. All in all, I kind of feel like Dying Wish is a very powerful perk. Again, I mean, it wouldn't be a powerful perk if it wasn't on this video, in my opinion. And it should just be used in every solo game, much like the old Quick Revive and, Juggernog. However, the next 2 perks are arguably even more powerful than the one that I just went over. So this brings us to perk number 2, Victorious Tortoise. The Victorious Tortoise perk is basically God mode as long as you have a shield out. You are an indestructible force of nature, and legends are told of brave warriors who fought endless hordes of the undead while using this perk. The player is seemingly invincible as they cannot be damaged by zombies at all, and the guns with the shield do so much damage that I don't think that Treyarch really thought this one through all the way. And while I don't think that this perk should really get nerfed, I do think that this is going to be just another Widow's Wine and, just stay overpowered as long as Black Ops 4 is in its current lifespan. And however, maybe there's a solution to possibly adding some balance to this perk. I didn't really think too much about it, but I'm just kind of curious to know what you guys think, actually. Like, do you guys actually think that Victorious Tortoise should be nerfed? And if so, how? And I also kind of want to know what your guys' opinions are on all these perks and suggestions that I have. Like, let me know in the comment section below, for reals, seriously. All right, now that we're done with those, let's move on to the last perk on this list. And I don't think that really many of you guys saw this one coming, but this perk, in my opinion, is easily the most overpowered in the game. So, which one is it? Well, the perk is... it's going to be... Juggernog. After doing the classified Easter egg, the player unlocks Juggernog and can use it to get 350 HP in-game. No, okay, I'm just kidding. But seriously, the most overpowered perk in Black Ops 4 is, in my opinion, the Secret Sauce perk. Yes, I know, secret freaking sauce. And I know, most of you watching this video have probably looked over the perk and thought it was useless. Trust me, I did too. However, after playing around with it, I learned that the Secret Sauce perk can actually be equipped in all 4 slots. Yes, you can use the perk in all 4 perk slots, not just one, like how you have to do with all the other ones. So what exactly does all of this mean? And, why am I even mentioning this in the first place? Well, Secret Sauce allows you to cycle through your perks mid-game. So say, hypothetically, for instance, you just use a Dying Wish and you're in a high round game and you want to swap it out because it's clearly on cooldown and you're not going to see it again for 11 minutes, 9 minutes, whatever your current cooldown is. Well, all you need to do is just simply walk up to the machine where Dying Wish is located and then buy a different perk, as long as, the Dying Wish is, of course, one of your Secret Sauce perks. Then, when Dying Wish is off cooldown and ready to be used again, you can just buy it back. And yes, the bar does go up. You guys can see me right here. I just used Dying Wish, and then here you go again. About 5 minutes later, you can see the bar going up clearly. Like, it's clearly going up. I know that, you guys might think that this could have been a different game or something, or maybe I had Dying Wish equipped this whole time and then swapped it out or something. But no, I mean, trust me, just take my word for it. You guys can try it out yourselves. And this isn't just limited to Dying Wish. You could do this with any perk in the game, like, Death Perception. Say you're about to have a boss round. Well, I can get Death Perception in my modifier slot, as long as, Secret Sauce is equipped there, and then kill the boss with the perk equipped, and then swap it back to whatever my perk was before that in my modifier slot, like stamin-up or whatever. And seeing how you can equip 4 Secret Sauces in your loadout, I just find this to be simply too overpowered. I personally think that Treyarch should limit this to just, 1 perk slot, as having the leisure of swapping out all 4 of your perks mid-games just seems to be far too overpowered for me. Like, I'm not sure how you guys feel about this, but that's just personally my opinion. Also, lastly, just my goal with this video isn't to just nerf all the strong perks and make this game super challenging and, very difficult to the point where we're sapping out all the fun from the game again, just like how the game sort of was on launch whenever, you only had 3 hits before you took it down and, zombies were super strong and started super sprinting at like around 30 and stuff. That's not what I'm trying to achieve with this video. What I'm trying to achieve with this video is just sort of a more balanced zombies game because, I mean, let's face it, these perks are very powerful, and in the later rounds, you could be seeing a lot more players that are not really quite as deserving at getting higher rounds in this game just because they're abusing, super overpowered perks like, Dying Wish and possibly even Victorious Tortoise. Now, one thing that I can really look back on is, and I know this is a super unpopular opinion, is the Afterlives mechanic on Mob of the Dead on Black Ops 2. I felt like that was the most terrible, worst mechanic ever invented in a zombies map. And I mean, I'll talk about that later on. And it's not for the sake of, for like the Easter egg stuff and, zapping perk machines, whatever. That was fine as long as it was limited towards more of a beast mode type thing. But the fact that players could basically get unlimited downs in their game just as long as they only went down once per round was a little ridiculous to me, a little overpowered, and that's kind of the direction that I sort of saw something like Dying Wish headed in. Now, I'm not sure if there's a time cap to Dying Wish and whenever it caps out, or if it even caps out in general, but, that's just sort of one thing that I wanted to get off my chest here is, you know, I just sort of wanted to explain this to you guys a little bit more, and, you know, just get a little more perspective on the view that I had at, you know, how this game could end up. And I just don't want it to be completely noobified, and it certainly isn't like that currently, but who knows, with more overpowered perks that might come out with DLCs and stuff, you know, maybe in with super overpowered elixirs that might come out with DLCs as well. You know, who knows? Maybe something like that could happen, and maybe the game will be a lot easier. So I think that it is important for us to kind of look at some of these perks, even if they are really overpowered, and try to think of ways that we could possibly add more balance to the game. And having said that, in my next video, I'm going to be doing underpowered perks and perks that need to be buffed, in my opinion. So, you know, just a heads up for that. So if you guys agreed with my list, if you guys do or, you know, don't agree with my list, actually, I'm curious to see what you guys say. Even though I don't reply to all of my comments, I still read most of them. So please, if you guys, you know, have any suggestions or, you know, even other video idea suggestions, let me know in the comment section below for sure, because, you know, as I said, I might not reply to your comment or love your comment, like your comment, whatever that stupid heart thing is that you can do next to people's what even is that called? Is that called loving a comment? I don't know. Whatever, guys. I guess that I don't really have too much more to say here, but however, thank you so much for watching the video, my dudes. I'm Frenzy, and I'm out. Deuces.